Who doesn't love a good prison break story? It's like the ultimate game of hide and seek, except you're hiding from the law and seeking freedom. And the lengths some inmates will go to make a run for it, it's like they took a page right out of MacGyver's book. You've got your classic tunneling, your Hollywood-style helicopter escapes, and even some daring disguises thrown in for good measure. But let's be real, as much as we love to root for the underdog, these prison breaks are no laughing matter. But we have to admit that the real prison breaks are no less than Hollywood thrillers. And today we're here with an infamous prison break story, so grab your popcorn and enjoy the thrill. The men stand motionless in a dimly lit tunnel deep beneath the Mexican countryside, their pickaxes and shovels at the ready. Above them, the faint sound of a vehicle's vibrations echoes through a narrow passageway. The men remain silent, fearing that the slightest noise could alert the prison patrol to their presence. For months, they've been tunneling through solid rock, slowly but steadily making their way towards their goal, the prison cell of the notorious drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Despite their limited equipment and the need for extreme caution, they managed to progress 30 feet below the prison's main yard. The work has been arduous, but they press on. They know that time is of the essence and they can't afford to be discovered. If all goes according to plan, El Chapo will soon be a free man. The men are well aware that their operation is risky, but they are willing to take that risk. They've spent months preparing for this moment, carefully planning it each step along the way. They know that using modern tunnel digging equipment like jackhammers and boring machines would speed up their progress. But the noise and attention it would draw make it too risky. So they continue to work with their basic tools, picking away at the rock with steady determination. Their mission is not just to free El Chapo, but to strike a blow against the corrupt system that has allowed him to thrive. The drug cartel that he leads has purchased land nearby and constructed 2 small homes as a cover for their tunneling operation. The homes remain unfinished, a testament to the cartel's ruthless efficiency in pursuit of their goals. As the men stand in the tunnel, their eyes fixed on their target, they know that success is within their grasp. All they can do now is wait and hope that their hard work and sacrifice will pay off. For them, the fate of a single man isn't important. What matters is the message their actions will send to the world. The tunnel crew faced intense pressure to finish their job as quickly as possible. The reason for their urgency was the notorious history of their boss, El Chapo. He had escaped from prison before and had managed to evade police raids on several occasions. The Mexican authorities could transfer him to another prison at any moment to prevent any possible attempts at escape. Every day the tunnelers took to reach El Chapo was critical, as it could mean the difference between success and failure. If they took too long, the transfer could happen, and all their hard work would be for nothing. They would have to start from scratch with a new plan in a completely different location. But that wasn't the only challenge they faced. The unfinished buildings were drawing the attention of the locals, and curious villagers were starting to ask questions. They wanted to know why someone would start constructing a building on an empty piece of land and then suddenly abandon it, leaving only a shell of a home. Time was running out for the tunnel crew, and the pressure was mounting with each passing day. Inside his cell, El Chapo appeared to be a model prisoner. Despite his past and the atrocities he had ordered, he maintained a friendly and cordial attitude with his guards and fellow inmates. His conversations over the phone were carefully monitored, and his mail was checked by prison officials, but not a single hint of the ongoing escape plot was ever revealed. The situation was serious, and the stakes were high. The tunnel crew had to complete their job quickly and efficiently, without raising any suspicions or drawing any attention to themselves. They knew that any mistake could lead to catastrophic consequences, and they were determined to succeed no matter what. The clock was ticking for El Chapo. He had been patient, waiting for his opportunity to escape prison once again. The tunnel diggers he hired knew they had a daunting task ahead of them, but time was of the essence. Despite the immense pressure they faced, the diggers managed to break through to El Chapo's cell just 16 months into his prison stay. The tunnel they constructed was nothing short of impressive. Officials were left in awe of the sophisticated engineering that had gone into the mile-long tunnel. Reinforced walls, wooden paneling, and a ventilation system all showed that no expense had been spared in creating a path to freedom for the notorious drug lords. The tunnelers even went so far as to use a motorcycle to shuttle El Chapo and dirt back and forth along the shaft. The tunnelers' attention to detail was meticulous. They didn't want to leave any evidence behind. The dirt that was displaced during the digging process was discreetly transferred to the tunnel opening, where it could be dispersed without raising any suspicion. For months, the tunnelers worked tirelessly in the shadows, digging and constructing the escape route. But eventually it became apparent that the presence of fresh dirt littering the fields above the tunnel would draw attention. Questions would be asked and answers would have to be provided. El Chapo's patience was running out, and it was time to make his move. In the dead of the night on July 12, 2015, the sound of metal scraping echoed through El Chapo's cell. Moments later, the bottom of the shower popped free and a friendly face appeared. Without hesitation, El Chapo climbed down into the tunnel, just wide enough for a man to pass through. 30 feet below the ground, he took his first steps toward freedom. El Chapo, known for his criminal activities, was often ridiculed for his short stature by his enemies. However, when it came to his prison escape, the tunnel diggers had made sure that it was just tall enough for him to walk through without hunching. It was a clever and classy prison break, to say the least. Upon entering the tunnel, El Chapo hopped onto a small motorcycle that had been affixed to metal tracks. It was a sight to behold as he rode along the well-lit tunnel, much like a kid on an amusement park ride. A few minutes later, he emerged from the tunnel and climbed up the wooden steps to his crew's safe house, which they had secretly been working on for a year and a half. After changing into clean clothes, El Chapo got into a truck and was quickly whisked away into the dark of the night. It was a daring escape that left the prison system and the Mexican government completely frustrated. However, El Chapo's luck eventually ran out, as he was caught just months after his escape. His newest safe house was given away weeks before his arrival by careless gunmen who were spotted by the locals. Responding to the reports of heavily armed men, Mexican officials put the house under surveillance and intercepted communications saying that someone of high value was coming to visit. Realizing that El Chapo was their target, officials waited for their chance to strike. A month later, Mexican Special Forces soldiers raided the home and killed several bodyguards. But El Chapo and one of his most senior lieutenants managed to escape through another secret tunnel. However, their escape was short-lived as they were caught after stealing a vehicle at gunpoint. Federal officers issued an alert for the stolen car, which was soon discovered and led to the arrest of the two fugitives. El Chapo was not one to give up without a fight. In his desperate attempt to buy his freedom, he resorted to bribing the police officers who had apprehended him. However, little did he know that times had changed, and the officers were not as easily corrupted as those who had come before them. Despite El Chapo's offers of money, homes, and lucrative jobs, all four officers stood firm in their duty and refused to be swayed. In response, El Chapo's tone shifted from honeyed promises to threats of violence, telling the officers they were both going to die. The situation escalated quickly when the officers reported El Chapo's threats and received a warning that heavily armed assassins were on their way to free the drug lord. With backup unavailable, the officers were forced to take refuge in a nearby motel, armed and ready for a potential shootout. El Chapo continued to taunt and threaten the officers, but his bravado quickly faded when a convoy of military trucks arrived at the motel, taking up defensive positions. The drug lord was ultimately apprehended and, after a failed attempt at escape, was extradited to the United States where he would face a lifetime in prison. While El Chapo's legacy will forever be marred by his crimes, his ultimate defeat serves as a reminder that even the most powerful can be brought to justice. So that concludes our video. What are your thoughts on it? Please share with us in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And make sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you at the next one. Until then, peace.